you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. Deshaun Watson may not be suiting up for the Cleveland Browns anytime soon if ever again, but that hasn't stopped him from making an impact inside the building. Since the quarterback competition heated up following the NFL draft, all eyes have been on the four fresh faces battling for the QB1 spot. Yet, amid the noise and speculation, Watson's name has quietly faded from the field conversations. What hasn't faded, however, is his presence in the locker room. After suffering a devastating Achilles tear last season followed by a setback during rehab, Watson finds himself on the outside looking in. He's not expected to start the season, and there's growing doubt that he'll play at all in 2025, but rather than sulk or create friction, Watson has taken on a new role, one that has caught the attention of coaches, teammates, and even the media. He's showing up, staying vocal, and embracing a leadership mantle despite his uncertain future. According to Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com, Watson's presence at the Browns facility in Berea has been nothing short of influential. Even though he's not on the field competing for reps, his voice still carries weight in meeting rooms and positional breakdowns. And it's not just about being physically present, it's about being mentally locked in and emotionally supportive. Cabot reports that Watson has become a great teammate and cheerleader, lending his veteran insight to the younger quarterbacks fighting for the starting role. He's reportedly attending offensive meetings, sitting next to rookies, and offering feedback with no trace of ego. For someone labeled a swing and miss by ownership, Watson could have easily disappeared from the radar. But instead, he's carving out a new kind of relevance, one that isn't defined by touchdown passes or completion percentage. Among those recognizing Watson's influence is rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel, a third-round pick, who's very much in the thick of the competition. Gabriel has spoken highly of Watson, even calling him a mentor figure during their early time together. In interviews, Gabriel revealed that he often sits next to Watson during offensive unit meetings and leans on him for guidance, whether it's a quick nudge for clarification or a more in-depth breakdown of a red zone concept. Watson's willingness to share his perspective has left a strong impression. Gabriel noted that Watson's insight can completely shift how a play is read or executed, a valuable asset in a crowded quarterback room full of inexperience. That kind of feedback, coming from someone who's been an NFL starter and Pro Bowler, carries weight, even if he's no longer the centerpiece of the depth chart for the Browns. It's a strange situation. You've got a franchise quarterback with a fully guaranteed $130 million deal, one that many now see as a catastrophic misstep, essentially operating as a mentor for his potential replacements. The optics could be awkward, maybe even toxic, but those inside the building tell a different story. Watson, by all accounts, has chosen not to make it about himself. He's not undermining the competition or distancing himself from the action. Instead, he's leaning in, making himself available, and doing what he can to ensure the Browns' quarterback room is as sharp and prepared as possible. That kind of maturity doesn't erase what's gone wrong, it doesn't fix the contract, the injuries, or the stalled progress, but it does add a new layer to the Deshaun Watson narrative, one that many didn't expect to see. And let's be clear, this isn't some sanitized PR stunt. According to Cabot's sources, Watson's approach has been genuine and consistent. While the spotlight has shifted to names like Gabriel and the other contenders in this camp, Watson has stayed the course behind the scenes. His leadership isn't performative. It's part of a daily routine that includes attending meetings, contributing in film sessions, and offering advice when appropriate. It's easy to dismiss someone like Watson when they're not suiting up, but within the walls of Berea, he remains a respected voice. Coaches appreciate his presence, teammates value his insight, and while fans may still be wrestling with the fallout of the deal that brought him to Cleveland, there's at least a measure of respect being rebuilt among those closest to the situation. That said, the future remains cloudy. Cabot reported that there is a slim chance, emphasis on slim, that Watson could return to the practice field as early as October. But even if that timeline proves accurate, the idea of him actually playing meaningful snaps in 2025 is being labeled an enormous long shot. The Browns would need to be in full-on crisis mode for Watson to be thrust back into action, and that's not the kind of scenario anyone is rooting for. Still, the thought of Watson on the practice field in any capacity is a sign that he hasn't completely given up on football or on this team. He's still putting in the work, still rehabbing, still hoping, but hope is not a guarantee, and the reality is that the Browns are moving forward with or without him. This entire chapter in Cleveland has been filled with twists, disappointments, and questions that still don't have satisfying answers. The trade was supposed to be transformational. Watson was supposed to be the missing piece. Instead, he's become the most expensive what-if in franchise history, and yet, here he is, finding a way to contribute, even if it's not the way anyone envisioned. Maybe that says something about growth, or maybe it's just damage control. Either way, Watson's current role is giving the Browns something they didn't expect: veteran leadership. In a time of transition and in the NFL, where locker room culture matters as much as raw talent, that kind of presence can't be overlooked. The irony, of course, is that Watson is doing all the things teams dream of from their backup veterans, without actually being a backup by design. He's mentoring, he's guiding, he's staying involved. It's just not supposed to be happening like this. This wasn't the plan when the Browns emptied their vaults and took one of the boldest gambles in modern football history. But now that the dust has settled and the reality has taken root, maybe this is the next best case scenario. Watson likely won't get another real chance to win over Cleveland fans on the field, but in the building, in the locker room, he's trying, in his own way, to leave something positive behind. Ultimately, Deshaun Watson's Cleveland story may never reach the redemptive climax that fans hoped for when he was first acquired. Injuries, inconsistencies, and controversy have left deep scars. The price tag will always hang over him. The expectations will always outweigh the results. But right now, he's doing what few expected. He's becoming a voice of reason and a source of support during one of the most important quarterback competitions in recent Browns memory. Whether or not it changes his legacy is debatable. But one thing's for sure, inside those meeting rooms, Watson hasn't given up. Not on football, not on his teammates, and perhaps most surprisingly, not on the Cleveland Browns. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Odell Beckham Jr., the one-man highlight reel, could be on his way back to Cleveland. And let's just say the Dawg Pound hasn't stopped barking since the rumor hit the streets. According to multiple whispers echoing from league insiders, OBJ and the Browns might be cooking up a reunion that no one saw coming. Just imagine the electric wide receiver strutting back onto the field at FIRSTENERGY Stadium, busting out dance moves after a jaw-dropping touchdown like it's 2019 all over again. The fans, they're practically in a frenzy. Social media is exploding with speculation, jersey photos resurfacing, and fans chanting OBJ, OBJ at training camp entrances. There's no confirmation yet, but where there's smoke, there's usually fire, and this one's starting to blaze now. Let's not forget the drama that once clouded OBJ's first stint in Cleveland. Injuries, chemistry issues, and a highly publicized disconnect with then quarterback Baker Mayfield painted a picture of unfulfilled promise. But things have changed. The Browns have a new dynamic under center, a more balanced offensive scheme, and a fan base that never really stopped loving the flash OBJ brings to the field. There's something about Cleveland and redemption arcs that go hand in hand, and Beckham Jr. might just be the perfect candidate for a second act. The energy is different now. The locker room is different, and the showman himself, rumors say he's hungry, hungrier than ever. Sources close to the organization have hinted that initial talks have taken place, nothing concrete, but enough to raise eyebrows. OBJ is currently a free agent, and while several teams have expressed interest, it's the Browns' name that keeps swirling in the background. Could this be a calculated PR move to test the waters, or is there genuine interest from both sides to run it back? One thing is clear: OBJ's return would instantly elevate the team's star power and inject excitement into a fanbase that's been craving a spark. We're talking ticket sales soaring, merch flying off shelves, and a city ready to embrace the prodigal son once more. Imagine the spectacle: OBJ warming up under the Cleveland skyline, music pumping through the stadium, cameras tracking his every move. There's something cinematic about it, like a sequel to a blockbuster movie that didn't quite stick the landing the first time around. But this time, the script could be different. Maybe this time, the stars align. Maybe this time, Odell isn't just back, he's better, stronger, and ready to remind the league why his name once echoed through every Sunday highlight reel. Players close to Beckham have reportedly said he's in peak mental and physical shape, and that the wideout is looking for the right environment to reignite his career. Not just any environment, a familiar one, and Cleveland, as chaotic as it once was, still holds a piece of his legacy. The connection to the fan base never really faded, even through the rough patches. There was always a sense that OBJ belonged in orange and brown. If he walks back into FIRSTENERGY, it won't just be a return, it'll be a revival, a show. A statement. Of course, this is all rumor for now. No official deals have been inked. No jerseys have been reprinted yet, but those close to the front office say there's mutual respect between the two parties. And let's be honest, the Browns could use a deep threat receiver with Beckham's charisma and game-breaking ability. With a strong backfield and a defense stacked with talent, adding a healthy, motivated OBJ to the mix could make Cleveland a serious contender again. It almost feels like destiny, like unfinished business waiting to be completed under those bright stadium lights. The coaching staff has remained tight-lipped, but subtle hints have slipped through the cracks. One assistant coach recently liked a tweet that showed OBJ in a Browns uniform with the caption, "Run it back." Another insider posted a cryptic emoji combination dog, eyes, and fire just minutes after Beckham's name trended in Cleveland. Coincidence? Maybe, but in the NFL, especially in the off-season, nothing is ever just coincidence. It's all part of the build-up, the theater, and few players bring drama and dazzle like ODELL. For OBJ, returning to Cleveland would be more than just a career move. It would be a narrative shift, a story of redemption, of rewriting a misunderstood chapter. A chance to prove he's not just a social media superstar or a headline magnet, but still one of the league's most gifted route runners and playmakers. And for Cleveland, it's a gamble worth taking, because when Beckham is locked in, when he's dancing in the end zone and catching impossible passes, there are few in the league who can match his energy. The kind of energy that turns a regular game into must-see TV. And let's not forget the fans. They've been through the heartbreak, the hype, the false dawns, but through it all, their passion hasn't wavered. The idea of seeing OBJ back in Browns gear, snatching one-handed catches, spinning the ball, doing the moonwalk after a 40-yard touchdown has reignited a hope that's been simmering under the surface. Fans are already making custom graphics, speculating jersey numbers, and calling into local radio stations begging for confirmation. Whether it's nostalgia or belief, the feeling is real, and it's growing. So, is OBJ really on his way back to the Browns? Time will tell, but the buzz is undeniable. The pieces seem to be aligning, and the stage is set for one hell of a comeback tour. Cleveland's never been short on passion, and if Odell Beckham Jr. does return, you can bet FIRSTENERGY Stadium will be rocking like never before. One thing's for sure, the NFL world is watching, and the showman, he just might be ready for his encore. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!